as you say, the club have sort of shut down that initial report that there was a bid made. It feels very un-Liverpool. We know that they have a policy of going for younger players or players that are within that sweet spot. Whether they've still got a little bit of time to go to get to their peak. We know De Bruyne is probably past his peak. Would command big wages. Doesn't feel like the sort of move that Liverpool, particularly with Michael Edwards back in the fold, would make. That said, I mean, De Bruyne is probably aside from sort of Liverpool players, my favourite player to watch for the past decades in the Premier League. Such a joy. He's the one player that I thought, when Liverpool were at the peak of the powers under Jurgen Klopp, I'd have loved to have seen him in that team. He was the one sort of profile of player that I think that team lacked. I think, the midfield was great and it was so industrious, and that Henderson, Fabinho, Wijnaldum midfield had such great balance, but I think he just sort of lacked at times that little bit of ingenuity, and I'd have loved to have seen what De Bruyne at his very best could have done in that team. But I think you look at him now and listen, City aren't daft. There's a reason that they're letting him go, and I think he's been really impressive the last couple of weeks for them, but for the majority of the season, obviously he's had injuries, but going back to that game at the Etihad in, was it February, when Liverpool go there and win, that was sort of the least effective I've ever seen him in a game, and he just sort of looked like the pace was a little bit too much for him. And you had, by contrast, Szoboszlai. I'm not saying Szoboszlai is anywhere near the level that De Bruyne was when he was at his very best, but just sort of his energy and his relentlessness, De Bruyne just didn't have that. So I think for anyone now, De Bruyne is probably a luxury signing. He's not someone that you're going to be putting your hopes and dreams in for a long period. If Liverpool were to think, what, Trent Alexander-Arnold's leaving, we need a little bit of creativity from somewhere for a year or two, let's gamble and go for it, then maybe, but it just doesn't feel like a very Liverpool move.
It doesn't feel like a Liverpool move, Josh, but this is forever something we talk about when we speculate in the summers, usually about transfers, is that don't look at anyone over the age of 26, for example, because who on earth wants
I'm
those
terrible
guys?
for that, Milan.
Yeah, but the truth is that Liverpool this title-winning team has been made up of players who aren't all 22, 23. Luis Diaz, I would argue, has been one of the stars of the season for us. He's 28. Mohamed Salah is the star of the season for us. He's 33. Virgil van Dijk is one of the stars of the season for us. He's 33 as well, 34. I'm losing track of what their age are. So Liverpool set about winning a league title and were successful in it with players aged in the latter part of their 20s and early 30s. Although I don't think this will happen or has significant legs, I don't think it's impossible that as a bonus signing, not a key pivotal signing, that Liverpool wouldn't pick up an elite veteran as an option off the bench or an option for 2 or 3 games where his legs could hold out for. I don't see it as utterly fanciful, if unlikely. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, we need a right back. So I don't know if he can play there, mate. He's kind of depicted shades of Trent at times over the years, but other than that,
I don't want to see him play right back.
That was a joke, by the way. I need to clarify that.
Jesus Christ, seeing Trent legged enough.
I think that's the thing, though. I think beyond that, what would be the need that he would address? Because we've got Szoboszlai in the 10. Elliott's been vying for minutes all season. Whether Elliott stays or not remains to be seen. He's not a wide player for Arne Slot, certainly not. So I think Beth says everything there. Really, he is post peak, 33 now. But there's a reason City aren't extending. Really, really great player in his day. I think he's pretty much Steven Gerrard reincarnated, isn't he? Like modern day version of Steven Gerrard for me. Very similar qualities and everything. But for Liverpool right now, I'd be amazed. I would be amazed. I think Liverpool are in a position right now where they need to get younger. For me, and you don't do that by signing a 33-year-old fella, you know what I mean, on a free transfer as well. He would be on heavy wages. He's played more this season than I thought, though. I thought he was basically crocked, and he played like 5 times this season. But he started 17 games in the Premier League.
Renaissance, City's recent renaissance, if you want to call it, that's included 4 wins on the bounce, has been very much based around him playing well again, hasn't it?
Yeah. Well, since Haaland got injured, I think he's been like a bit of a false nine for them. Kind of opening up Marmouche and things like that. That's how he's been doing it, and Pep's been using like really wide fullbacks as well. and then clogging the centre. So it's been interesting to see how we've been playing a part for them. But yeah, it just feels like a massive long shot for me. It's more of like a banter kind of link for me, where City just get annoyed. You know what I mean? One of them where City supporters just get a bit worried